sequence. So we're going to work a little bit on stretching through the side of the body. So for this one, you will need a block and possibly a band. So we're going to begin seated, so we can come into any comfortable seated position. So again, we can sit cross-legged, we can sit on the knees, we can sit with the legs down in front. And again, as always, we just take a few moments to arrive. So we just start to shift our awareness inwards. We, as always, begin with the body. So how do we feel? And then again, do we feel like we're kind of sitting up nice and straight? Do we want to roll shoulders back and down a little bit? Lift up through the sternum, back of the neck is long, chin is slightly tucked in. Getting the eyes are lightly closed. And we can just start to shift that awareness inwards. So we just become aware of the inhalation and the exhalation to begin with. And again, we can just start to come into that yogic breath or the free part breath. So we start to breathe into the belly or the diaphragm, up into the chest, up into the collarbones. So again, we're filling the whole of the lungs. And then again, we can breathe out of the diaphragm, out of the chest, and out of the collarbones. And we can just breathe in for that count of 6. And as we exhale, we can have that slightly longer exhalation. So again, just breathing out for a count of 8 or 10, just that real emptying of the lungs on the exhalation. We can also use this longer exhalation just to breathe out any kind of unwanted thoughts, stresses, worries. Any of that mental chatter. And then we can just allow our breath to return back to its normal rhythm. And again, we'll take those couple of moments to see how we feel. We can again rub the hands together if we want to, create that little bit of heat. Bring the hands up to the palms up to the eyes, gently blinking into that warmth and darkness of the hands. Maybe bringing the fingertips onto the eyelids, gently massaging out fingers onto the eyelids, temples, and maybe down the sides of the jaw to the chin. So we're going to begin a little bit with the upper body to begin with. So to start with, we're just going to roll those shoulders back and down. We're just going to allow those arms to relax down by the sides. So we're going to take an inhalation here, and as we exhale, we're just going to drop our kind of right ear towards the right shoulder. So we're stretching through the left side of the neck. Again, we allow that left arm to go nice and heavy. And again, we can play around a little bit here in this stretch. If we want to, we can get our left palm and kind of press it towards the floor. So we're really weighting that arm down. Now we can play around a little bit here. We kind of tuck in and lift in the chin, just seeing how that stretches out through the kind of the side of the neck there. We can also take that left arm out to shoulder level now, really point through those fingertips. So again, the same thing, tucking the chin, lifting the head a little. And then we can just bring that right ear back over that right shoulder, bring those right fingertips towards that right temple, and gently press that head back to center as we lower that left arm down. And then onto the right side and drop that left ear towards the left shoulder, so we're stretching through the right side of the neck. We can again get our right palm here, press it towards the floor. Again, we can play around a little bit here with that kind of tucking, lift in the chin. And then we can slowly bring that right arm out to shoulder level again, press through those fingertips. And again, just a little bit of playing around with stretching through those neck muscles. And then just bringing that left ear back over that left shoulder, bring those left fingertips again to the temple, and just gently press that head back to center. And then again, just relaxing the arms back down by the sides here. We're going to now bring that left arm up as we inhale, and we're going to exhale, reach that left arm up and over. We're just going to walk our right hand a little bit out towards the right side. Press the right palm towards the floor, and then we reach that left arm up and over, at the same time pressing your left bum cheek towards the floor. So again, we get that little side stretch there. Again, relax the head, so again, let that right ear move towards the right shoulder. And then again, we can play around a little bit here with that arm. So again, if we bring the arm a little bit in front, a little bit over the ear, and again, also that little bit behind the ear. And then again, we can come back to center. And then again to the opposite side. So this time we reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. We reach the right arm up and over. We can walk our left hand a little bit more towards the left side. Drop our left ear towards our left shoulder as we reach the arm up and over. Press our right sit bone towards the floor. And then again, we can stay here. Or again, we can take that arm a little bit in front. A little bit over the ear, and then also a little bit behind the ear. And then again, we can come back up to center. And then we're just going to slowly now spin round, and we're just going to come into our little child stretch here. So again, however feels comfortable for you in child, whether it's knees together, knees hip distance, knees wide out to the side. We're going to gently stretch those hands out towards the top of the mat. We're going to relax the forehead towards the floor. And then again, that little side stretch here in child. So again, if we just take those arms towards one side, take a couple of breaths there. And then we're going to go towards that opposite side. And then we're going to come back to center. And then we're just going to slowly come up onto all fours. So now we're going to play around a little bit here with that threading the needle. So again, we're just going to have hands stacked underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, so in that kind of flat back position. And then we're going to start to take that right arm up towards the ceiling. So we inhale, and we're going to exhale, thread the right arm through. So we're going to drop that right kind of upper arm and ear towards the floor, or onto a block if that feels better. And again, always in this position, do we adjust the legs? So again, do we leave the knees kind of stacked underneath the hips? Do we tuck our toes under? Do we step that left leg out towards the side? So again, it shifts our weight a little bit more over towards the right side. And again, do we also take it a little bit into that left arm? So walk that left hand up towards the top of the mat. And again, just a little bit over towards the left ear. We can also get that left arm and we can wrap it around the back, so bring that hand towards the opposite hip. And then we can bring that left hand back in, bring that left knee back in. And again, we can come back up here onto all fours. And then we're going to do that towards the opposite side. So again, just swing around. So we're going to take that left arm up towards ceiling. We're going to thread that left arm underneath the right. We're going to drop that left ear and kind of left upper arm towards the floor. Again, we're going to stay on the knees, tuck toes under. Step that right leg out towards the side this time. So again, it shifts our weight over. And then again, we start to take it a little bit into that side stretch. So again, we just walk that right hand towards the top of the mat. And then just wherever feels good. So then we start to get a little bit of stretch here through the side muscles. And then we can also get that right arm. We can wrap it around the back, bring it towards the opposite hip, opposite thigh. And then we can slowly bring right hand back in, right knee back in, and we can come back up here onto all fours. So now we can start working to our little cat-cow spine roll. So again, as always, we can start with that kind of tucking the tailbone up, dropping the belly down, rolling up through the front of the chest, lifting up through the head. Again, as we exhale, we can tuck toes under, tuck tailbone down, suck the belly in, arch through the back, drop the head. And again, a couple more rounds. And then when we've done 3 rounds, we can come back into that little flat back position here. We can step our hands a little bit further forward now, so they're not quite stacked underneath the shoulders. Again, we can press into the fingertips as we inhale. We can exhale, pull back with that tailbone. So we're pulling back towards that little child stretch, tucking the chin in. So again, we stretch through the back of the neck. We can inhale, come back to that flat back position. And then again, as we exhale, we come as far forwards. This feels comfortable into a little back bend. And then again, we can do a couple more rounds here. And then the third time we come into our little back bend, whatever that looks like for us, we can again take an inhalation here. And as we exhale, we take the gaze over the right shoulder. And then again, we inhale to center, and we exhale, gaze over the left. And then again, we can come back to center, and then we can pull back into our little child stretch. Or little child resting pose if that feels better. And then again, we can stretch those arms back out. We can slowly come back up here onto all fours. We can bring hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We can press into the fingertips up between the shoulder blades, tucking the toes under, bum towards the heels, tailbone up towards the ceiling as we come into our little down dog here. And again, we can take a few moments to just stretch out in that little down dog. And then whenever you're ready, we can just walk hands to feet, feet to hands. We come into our little forward fold, forward flop. And then again, we can roll up, hinge up, hit the arms wide out to the side as we lift up. And back into Tadasana. Slightly adjust my mat so you can, my head doesn't disappear. So we're just going to come towards the front of the mat here. And we're going to come into a comfortable Tadasana position. So whatever Tadasana feels like for us. And again, we're just going to relax those arms down by the sides and soften the knees. So we're going to inhale, bringing the arms up. We're going to clasp the hands together. We're going to exhale, roll the shoulder blades back and down. We're going to take an inhalation. And we're going to exhale, little side stretch. We're going to inhale to center. We're going to exhale to the opposite side. We're going to inhale, coming back to center. We're going to exhale, taking those arms wide out to the side, clasping the hands behind the back as we inhale, and exhale, folding forwards. Dropping the head down, bringing the arms up behind. And then just relaxing those hands down when we're ready, coming into our little forward fold. and forward flop. And just taking a few moments here just to stretch out the legs however feels good. And then again, we're going to cup those fingertips in line with the toes. We're going to shift the weight towards our left foot. Oh, no, wrong side, sorry. Yeah, wrong. No, let me think about it. We're going to shift our weight towards our right foot. And we're going to step our left foot back. And then we're going to drop that back knee and back foot onto the floor. So we're going to start by coming into our little kind of psoas stretch and little psoas and quad stretch here. So we're moving into a kind of low lunge. So again, you just want to feel that kind of stretch through that kind of front of the hip and that thigh there. And again, you might have a little bit of compression going on your hip on the opposite leg. We're just going to take a couple of breaths here. Just kind of relax into it. And then we're just going to lift up a little bit out of it and maybe just slide that back leg a little bit further back. So now we roughly have our knee and ankle on that front leg in line. And then we're going to bring our right hand down here onto the floor on the outside of that right foot. We're going to take an inhalation and we're going to exhale, float that left arm up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to bring that left hand back down, plant that left hand underneath the left shoulder as we inhale, and exhale, float the right arm up. And then we're going to swing that leg back down. And then we're just going to tuck the toes under. We're going to press that back left heel towards the floor, press into the fingertips up between the shoulder blades as we inhale. Exhale, step that right foot back. We're going to shift the shoulders over the hands, come into our plank position. We're going to drop knees, feet onto the floor. We're going to either pull back to a child, or again, we can bring the elbows lower and the chest towards the floor, pushing through to a little up dog, and then pulling back to a little child stretch. And then we're going to slide the hands underneath the shoulders, press the hands into the floor, up between the shoulder blades, tucking the toes under if they're not already. Tailbone up towards ceiling, little down dog. And then again, we're just going to take into a little calf stretch here. So maybe we step our right foot behind the left, press the left heel towards the floor, tailbone up towards ceiling. And then we can bring our right foot back in, step left foot behind, press right heel towards the floor, tailbone to the ceiling. And then come back into our little down dog. And then we're going to either walk hands to feet, feet to hands. If you like doing the step throughs, you can do a little step through. And we're going to come back into our little forward fold. And then we're going to roll up, hinge up, float the arms wide out to the side as we lift up. And back into Tadasana. And then we're just going to come back towards front and right. And again, we're going to get grounded here. And then again, we're going to inhale, bringing the arms up. We're going to clasp the hands together. Exhale, roll the shoulder blades back and down. Take an inhalation. Exhale, little side stretch. Inhale to center. Exhale to the opposite side. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, arms wide out to the side. Clasp the hands together. Squeeze the shoulder blades in. And again, folding forward. Dropping the head down and the arms up behind. Relaxing the arms down, coming into your little forward fold, forward flop. Cupping the fingertips in line with the toes, this time shifting the weight towards our left foot and stepping that right foot back. Dropping into that little low lunge here to begin with. Again, find that little bit of quad and hip flexor stretch here in that right side. So again, maybe maybe your left knee and ankle are in line. Maybe your foot is a little bit further back. Maybe you stay on your hands. Maybe you come partway onto a block. Maybe you rest on that front thigh. And then we can slowly come back down. And then again, we can just stay here. Or again, we might just kind of shift that left knee so it's in line with the left ankle, and maybe we just take our back right leg a little bit further back. And then we're going to come into that little twist here. So with this one again, we want our knee or our leg to stay fixed. We want to really press down into that left foot, so our left knee doesn't flare in or out to the side. Bring that left hand underneath that left shoulder as we inhale. And we exhale to hit that right hand. Bring that right hand back down, place it underneath the right shoulder on the inside of that left foot. Inhale here, exhale, float the left down. And then slowly back down. Plant the fingertips, press up between the shoulder blades, tuck the toes under, press that right heel towards the floor. Take an inhalation here. Exhale again, we can come back to our little plank position. Drop knees, feet onto the floor. Pull back to child, bend the elbows, push through to your little up dog, and then pull back to your child stretch. Again, sliding the hands underneath shoulders, pressing into the hands up between shoulder blades, tucking the toes under, tailbone up towards ceiling, little down dog. Again, this time we do that little hip opener, so again we can press into the right foot, take the left leg up towards ceiling, bend the left knee, drop the left foot over towards that right side. And then we can bring left foot back down, take the right leg up, bend the right knee, stack that right hip on top of the left, drop the foot over to the left side. And then back. And then again, walking hands towards feet, feet to hands, step through, hop through, jump through. And then again, roll up, hinge up, take the arms wide out to the side, lift up, and back into Tadasana. And then we're just going to step back towards front of the mat. And again, we're going to relaxing hands down by the sides. Again, we're going to inhale, bringing the arms up. This time we're going to come into a raised prayer position, thumb, gaze up towards thumb. So again, a little bit of a back bend, so we open up through the front of the body. Exhale, draw the hands down the midline. Into our little forward fold, forward fold. Again, cupping the fingertips in line with the toes, shifting the weight towards our right foot, stepping that left foot back, dropping that back left knee, top of the foot onto the floor as we inhale. And then again, as we exhale this time, we're going to lift up towards a low lunge. And then we're just going to bring our hands into prayer position. We're going to slowly kind of fall towards that front thigh. And then we're going to come into that little twist here. So we're going to inhale and we're going to exhale, hook that left elbow over the right knee. Squeeze the palms together wide across the back of the shoulders. And then if it feels okay, tucking the toes under again on the left foot. Inhale, pressing the belly towards the left thigh. Belly towards the right thigh. And as you exhale, press your left heel towards the floor and straighten that back leg. And then again, we'll drop hands down onto the floor. Again, if that back knee is on the floor still, we tuck the toes under, press that left heel towards the floor. We can again take an inhalation here. Exhale, we can step right foot back. We can shift weight. With the shoulders over the hands, plank position. Drop knees, feet on the floor. Pull back to child. Lower the chest. Push through to a little up dog. And then back into a little child stretch. Again, sliding the hands underneath the shoulders, pressing into the hands up between shoulder blades, tucking the toes under, bum towards the heels, tailbone up towards ceiling, little down dog. And then again, we can walk hands to feet, feet to hands, or again, we can step through. And then again, we can roll up, hinge up, take the arms wide out to the side, lift up, and back into Tadasana. So again, coming back towards front mat, then relaxing the arms down the sides. Inhale, taking the arms up, gaze up towards that little raised prayer position. Exhale, draw the hands down. Little forward fold, forward fold. Cupping the fingertips in line with the toes, shifting the weight towards the left foot, stepping that right foot back this time, dropping that back right knee, top of the foot on the floor, coming into that little lunge here as we inhale. Exhale again, we lift up. We bring our hands into prayer position. We fold towards the front thigh and we hook that right elbow over that right knee. Squeeze the palms together as we widen across the back of the shoulders. And then again, keeping the belly pressing towards your left thigh as you inhale, tucking the toes under on the right foot, and then exhale, pressing that right heel towards the floor. Keep your belly pressed to thigh. Dropping the hands down again to that back knee still on the floor, tucking toes under, pressing heel towards the floor, taking inhalation. Exhale again, step back, little plank position, drop knees, feet, pull back to child, or again, lower chest, push through to little up dog. And then back, child stretch. Sliding the hands under, pressing into the fingertips up between the shoulder blades, tucking the toes under, tailbone up to the ceiling. And then again, you can walk hands to feet, feet to hands. And then again, we can roll up, hinge up, take the arms wide out to the side, and back into Tadasana. And then we can just step back towards front of the mat. Final little vinyasas here. So again, pressing down into the feet, relaxing the arms down. Again, we can inhale coming into that raised prayer position, gaze up towards the thumbs, or again, if you feel comfortable, we can inhale and exhale, kind of gently taking the belly forward, chest up, head back. And then again, we can inhale, lift. Exhale, draw the hands down. Little forward fold, forward flop. Cupping the fingertips in line with the toes. Again, shifting the weight towards our right foot. Stepping the left foot back. And then dropping that back left knee, top of the foot onto the floor. So now we're going to come into our little lizard. So we're going to bring both hands to the inside of that front foot, that right foot. And then we're just going to walk our right foot a little bit further over towards the right side. And then just kind of, well, actually you can choose here, sort of come this way. So you can either keep the foot as it is. You might just kind of walk the foot a little bit further out to the side. So again, your toes are pointing a little bit further out. Again, you might just stay here on the hands, kind of knee pressing down into that heel. Or you might come into a little twisted variation where you drop that knee a little bit out to the side. And again, you can even twist a little bit more in this one if you want to, whereas bringing your left hand underneath your left shoulder, slightly drop your left hip as you bring your right hand towards that right thigh. And then you can bring that right knee back in. You can walk that right foot back between the hands. Press into the fingertips, up between the shoulder blades, tucking the toes under, lifting that back knee off the floor as we inhale. Now we're going to step into pigeon. So we're going to bring that left knee up behind the left wrist if this feels okay. We can have that kind of right foot kind of roughly kind of underneath my right heel, I would say is roughly underneath my left hip. Or again, if you've got a kind of lot of flexibility here, you can also bring that kind of right foot up behind left heel. So we can slide that back, left leg a little bit further back. And then we're just going to come to whatever point feels comfortable here in pigeon. So again, we might be up on the elbows, we might drop the forehead onto the floor again in pigeon. We don't want to feel any discomfort here on that front knee. So if we do, maybe play around a little bit with wiggling the foot, bringing the foot more into the midline. Or again, if it's really uncomfortable, we can just take a wide-legged child. And again, you can stay here in pigeon, or again, you can take it into a little twisted pigeon, so like we did with the lizard. So again, if you bring your left elbow roughly underneath your left shoulder and your left hand is underneath your right, you turn towards that kind of right knee and towards the left hand. You can kind of drop the forehead or the temple, that left temple down towards that left hand. And then you can sometimes bring that right hand to face towards the back of the mat. So again, it's that little tilt of the pelvis like we do in the twisted kind of lizard. And then again, we can bring those hands back underneath the shoulders. We can press into the hands up between the shoulder blades, tucking the toes under, lifting that back knee off the floor. So we press that left heel towards the floor. We can step our right foot back. We can shift back into plank. We can drop knees, feet, pull back to child, lower the chest towards the floor, push through to the little up dog, and then pull back to our little child stretch, sliding the hands in, pressing into the hands. Tailbone up towards ceiling, little down dog. And again, walk hands to feet, feet to hands. Little forward fold, forward flop. And then again, roll up, hinge up, take the arms wide out to the side, lift up and back into Tadasana. So again, final last little vinyasa down onto the floor. So again, coming back into our prep, back into our Tadasana. Again, we can inhale, bringing the arms up, gaze up towards the thumbs. Exhale again, little back bend if that feels okay. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold forward. Cupping the fingertips in line with the toes, shifting the weight towards the left foot, stepping that right foot back, dropping that back right knee, right foot on the floor, sliding the right leg a little bit further back, bringing both hands to the inside of that front foot, that left foot. Walking that left foot a couple more inches out towards the left side, if that feels good, and then maybe you turn the toes a couple of inches more. So again, whatever works for your hips. And again, the same here. So do you keep that knee pressing down towards the floor? Do you drop the knee a little bit more out towards the side? Do you come into that little twisted variation where you bring that right hand underneath the right shoulder? You would drop that right hip a little bit in as you lift up a little bit, or you twist a little bit more towards that left side. And then we can come back. We can again walk that foot back between the hands, press into the fingertips, tuck the toes under, press that right heel towards the floor. And then again, we can step into our little pigeon pose here now. So we can bring that left knee up behind the left wrist. We can slide that right leg a little bit further back and we play around with that front leg. So again, there's no discomfort there in the knee. We can again stay up on the hands, we can come onto the elbows, we can drop the forehead here onto the floor. Again, no discomfort in that front knee. Again, that stretch should be coming from the hip. Again, we can come into that slightly twisted pigeon. So very similar to lizard in the way you tilt the pelvis. So again, your right elbow is underneath the right shoulder, right hand is underneath the left shoulder. We twist towards that front knee, towards that left knee. So as we do that again, right hip drops in a little bit, left hip lifts up a little bit. So again, very similar tilt pelvis as in you did in your lizard. And then we can slowly come back forwards. And then if it feels okay, can we lift back up a little bit towards our pigeon? And then we just slightly drop over towards that kind of left bum cheek. And then we're just going to slowly spin that right leg through. And then we're just going to bring those legs out. We're going to give those legs a little bit of a flutter, a little bit of a rock from side to side. And then we're going to come over on to our backs. So we're going to finish off here with a little couple of twists or a little twist and side stretch. So we're going to start with eagle legs twist. So we're just going to bring our arms out to shoulder level. I'm just going to prop my head up on the blocks. It just makes it easy to talk. And then we're going to get our left leg and we're going to step our left leg over the right. And we can either have our left foot resting against the right leg or we can hook it behind the back of that right calf. Some people find that is really uncomfortable for the top of the foot, so if it is, don't go there. We can again hang out. We can just take an inhalation here. And as we exhale, we're just going to drop those legs over towards that right side. And then again, whatever feels comfortable here. So maybe you support the legs on a block or a bolster. Maybe you hook the legs a little bit more towards the floor. And again, maybe we keep that right arm as it is, sorry, left arm as it is, maybe we slide it a little bit high. And then we can slowly come back to center. We can unhook those legs. We can go to the opposite side. So this time we can cross right leg over. We can again leave that right foot just rest against the left lower leg. We can hook it behind the back of the calf. We can again just drop those legs over towards the side. So again, you might just bring them over towards that left side. You might support them on a block or a bolster. And then again, I like to actually just add a little bit of weight in, just hook them a little bit towards the floor. We can also play around a little bit with the right arm. So again, to keep it shoulder level, do we slide it higher. And then we can come back to center. Then we can unwrap those legs. And then that last little one we're going to do here is that little banana sandwich. So we're going to clasp the hands together. We're going to bring the arms up over the head. We're going to walk the arms and the head towards that top right-hand corner of the mat. We're going to walk the legs towards the bottom right-hand corner. And again, we can leave the hands clasped. We can take the arms out to the side if we've got any pinch in the shoulders. We can leave the legs side by side. We can cross right over left, left over right. We can come back to centre. We can go to the opposite side. So we can take those arms over towards that left side, walk the legs towards the left side, leave the hands clasped, release them a little bit out to the side, leave the legs side by side, cross left on right, right on left. And then again back to centre. And then we can just take those arms down by the sides here. And we can just take a few moments just to relax here. So again, we can just come into any comfortable Shavasana position. Take a few deep breaths. Bring our awareness inwards, closing the eyes, becoming aware of the parts of the body that press into the floor. Again, as you exhale, just really softening down into the parts of the body that press into the floor, just like letting go, allowing everything just to become nice and heavy, nice and soft. And again, we can just bring that breath and the awareness from the top of the head right down into the fingers, the toes, just focusing into any little areas of tension, tightness, discomfort in the body. And again, as we breathe out, we just try and allow those areas just to relax, release, and soften. And then again, we can just breathe from the top of the head right down into the fingers, the toes. And again, as we exhale, just allow the weight of the body to just sink down into the floor. And then just slowly bring our awareness back to the body, floor underneath us, the air on the skin. Start to breathe a little deeper. We can start to bring a little bit of gentle movement, wiggling the fingers, the toes, taking the head a little from side to side. You're ready to bring a little bit more movement into the body. Do the gentle forearm stretch. And then again, we can just slowly hook the knees in, have that little rock out from side to side. And then finding our way up into seated. Thank you very much, guys.